behind me, who personally I quite like. He is quite fast, he just doesn't have the skill to keep the fast car on the track. Pedro de la Rosa is pretty much all but confirmed for Campos, the new team. Right, Alonso's all but confirmed for Ferrari. One of the new teams was apparently looking at getting Sebastian Buemi's female cousin to drive.
What?
Yeah, apparently he has a female cousin who's quite good at driving, so they're looking at her. US F1, finally the rumours seem to have finished over Danica Patrick driving for them, so you've either got the possibility of 2 female drivers, 1 or none next year. Who was it? US F1 have signed YouTube as one of their sponsors. I think that's it for this week. Unless you want to add.
One thing, this new team, Campos, who's funding them?
It's Adrian Campos, who used to drive in Formula 1. He is the one that... There's no word on sponsors yet, and the last time I checked, which was midweek, there's no website for them, so I can't find out anything like that. But you've just reminded us of the other thing. Apparently in the US F1 offices in Charlotte in America, the only thing that's there is computers and desks. They actually have no staff there yet. So there's rumours going around about all 3 teams and how ready they are for next season.
Well, we'll see. Well, hopefully more news will come out about these new teams as this year progresses. I would like to know more about them before, 1 week before next year's GP, but we'll see what comes out on the good old F1 grapevine.
They're all supposed to be ready for the winter tests, but I mean the other thing that's going to be interesting is who's going to get the 13th spot, because BMW, despite deciding to leave, decided to enter the entry for Formula 1 next year, which you can understand, up until the point where they're trying to sell the team. Now, why would anyone buy a Formula 1 team that's not entered into Formula 1?
But aren't they doing the winter trials?
No. They after the last race in Yas Marina, that's it, they're gone. As far as I know, they're not doing any winter testing. And, like I say, if that's the case, why didn't they think of that sooner? You can't sell an F1 team if they're not entered in F1. Well, you can. But the only reason that there'd be any point to buy anything is if it was one of the new teams coming in and decided that they couldn't be bothered to do anything, so they just bought what was left of BMW, or you're one of the existing teams and you decide you want their equipment for some reason. I don't see the point otherwise, because you've got a Formula 1 team that's not entered into Formula 1, so what's the use in having it at all?
I think the only possible reason anyone would buy a team without it being entered would be to, I don't know, I guess to do mass upgrades on the technology and then enter them next year. Get a seriously pimping car together and then enter them into the year after.
Yeah, because that's effectively what Honda did in that's too far back. In 2007 they decided, right, we've got a car for 2008, but sod that, we'll go on to develop 2009 car now. And that was pretty much at the start of the 2008 season, which is why the Braun car is now fantastic, because it's a full year of development from Honda.
And I see, that's awesome, but not particularly ideal in terms of missing out a whole year of racing just to do really well the next year. I don't know. I'm not sure if that's worth it.
Neither am I, but let's face it, it's worked. Braun at top of the Constructors, drivers top of the Driver Championship. They won 6 out of the first 7 races. In Australia, they had I was going to say they had a 4-second advantage. What really happened was they got 4 seconds ahead of everybody and then didn't go anywhere after that, because Button came out of the pits just ahead of second place, got 4 seconds ahead of him inside the first lap, but then didn't really pull away. So I'm saying that I wasn't there, so I don't know whether that was just they told him not to pull away or he just couldn't.
Who knows? Well, I think that's probably us wrapped up for the day. Website information is s6.invisionfree.com/black_flag_F1. And that's our forum. We should have a YouTube and a Twitter account set up pretty soon.
Facebook.
Yeah, and a Facebook account as well. We'll give all details of those on our next podcast, which should be next week after the Monza circuit.
Hopefully this will be a Grand Prix worth watching and everyone can enjoy it. So yeah, I think that's us calling it a wrap for now. So thank you for listening and we'll see you next week.
Yep. Thanks everybody. You've been listening to Black Flag with Thomas Miller
and Timothy Wehrman.